Well, hey everyone, Dylan here, and welcome to this week's review of, I think, like a month ago's Raw. So yeah, you're not reading the title wrong or anything's wrong. I've missed about 4 or 5 consecutive weeks if you count this week. So I'm not going to upload all of them in one day. That would kill the algorithm, plus also kill my opportunity at views on those, you know what I mean? But throughout the next couple of weeks, I will be uploading them, whether it's through the podcast, which, by the way, that podcast thing is not dead. I just ran into some technical difficulties and can't record it this week. Hopefully next week it'll be up again. Like I've been saying, this isn't a one-and-done thing. I want to make this a regular thing. I've just ran into technical difficulties. Anyway, stalling aside, throughout the next couple of weeks, whether it's through these one-offs or through the actual podcast and then the one-offs, I will be reviewing the episodes of Raw I've missed this year, because I've been pretty constant with the exception of these past 5 weeks. I think I've reviewed every episode of Raw for 2025. Well, whatever. Let's get on that task of going back to reviewing every episode of 2025 with this one. Ready? Ready. So they show the home of WrestleMania this year, and we see Stadium in Glasgow, which is where this this Raw event is. Everybody arrives, and we start off the show with Robot Cena coming out what looks like, I teased, it looks like he has a buzz cut on the side. He didn't, spoiler alert. I just wish he did. I wish he came back with the buzz cut, killed Cody, and then we got Super Cena versus Orton. Anyway, he walks to the ring with the towel over his head, holding it like the title from One Night Stand, and he looks a little stoic to me. I don't know if it's intentional, but his clothes since the retirement tour have started to be like throwbacks to his old attire. He asks the crowd if something's on their mind just to get booed off of that. He berates him off the bat and explains that last week he blasted a random kid and you all loved it, talking about his heel turn with the member of the crowd. By the way, just in case you didn't see it, he had the little Rise Above Hate patch on the side of his gear. And I get it. It's because he's rising above the hate that he's gotten for the last 25 years. I get it. He continues his holier-than-thou speech and says that tonight all the members of the audience pay for that abuse that they've given him. He says that their lives are sad because he's the best thing they've had, and to him, they are nothing. He says the most important thing that they told him was in April 2005, when he gave them the Spinner Championship and they ate him alive for changing the championship into a toy. He calls that a mistake because now that he knows their weakness, he's going to ruin wrestling for them. And when he wins the 17th championship, you will never remember Ric Flair, will remember the name John Cena. He says once he wins it, he will retire with it and take it home with him, and they can create a new toy belt. He keeps on saying stuff to that degree, then Cody comes out saying that he would have to take it away from him first before he could do that, which, spoiler alert, he ends up doing. He says that Cena is different now and possibly the best that he's been, but the mistake that he made was saying that while Cody was in the same building as him. Like saying all that jazz while Cody's in the same building as him. The crowd's chanting like a football chant with Cody's name. By the way, football being soccer. He puts down the title and tells Cena that he has the opportunity to pick it up right now if he wanted to. Cena pretends that he will, but then he just leaves the ring. As he's leaving, Cody tells his name, which makes him walk up the ramp and then walk away. Huh? Oh, he yells his name. I hate autocorrects so much. Cody says that he can't let him do this. He needs John to see him and all of them, and they're going to keep it away from him. He's going to walk empty-handed at WrestleMania. He raises the title and is strong to end the segment. They show a recap of Breakker versus Finn from last week, and then plug the IC title match later on between the two. Jey Uso comes out through the entryway, and in a surprise moment, we get the Usos teaming up together again. They have a match against A-Town Down Under, where the Usos end up winning with a throw-over. Jimmy does a spear on Waller, and then we get a 1D to Theory, which made me pop. I love the 1D Pauls for the win. As they're celebrating, Gunther attacks Jimmy and him and Jay brawl for a bit. Jay goes to the corner. He does like a corner butt splash thing that he does, but he intentionally trips while he's doing it on accident, kind of to play into this whole thing like he's not mentally ready. More on that later. And Gunther fights him until Jimmy saves him as Gunther retreats. We go backstage as the clubhouse are talking, and I have stopped caring so much about the Judgment Day. Here's the highlights. Raquel says that she will win her IC title match tonight. And then it talks to Finn about bringing somebody into the Judgment Day. And then Carlito's going to go for a title, maybe. He keeps on teasing that. By the way, he's still currently teasing that, which is crazy that this has been a build. I thought that was like a throwaway line. Anyway, after that, we see Lyra talking to Bayley backstage as they go to her one-on-one against Raquel. It gets a hype package, and we get a vignette about a luchador coming from the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, fuck that shit. I ain't calling it the Gulf of America. Suck one. Yeah, it's El Grande Americano. The LWO talks to Adam Pearce about that, and Gable comes in saying that it's not him, and he's sick, so he has a replacement for the match that he was supposed to have tonight. By the way, the results of that title match that was mentioned that hasn't came up yet, Lyra ends up winning with a roll through. And then she gets jumped by Liv and beaten down until Bayley comes out to save her, building to their WrestleMania match that Bayley ends up getting replaced on. But anyway. After that, they replay the Women's World title feuds that's going on right now. When we come back from ad, the Usos are cooking in the stairs, and then Jimmy berates Jay and says that he won't win WrestleMania if he keeps up in this sloppy attitude. Jay says that he knows that, and knows that he's lost 3 times to Gunther. Jay says that he knows that and knows he's lost 3 times to Gunther, but he's going to win at Mania. Jimmy says that he keeps on acting like this, the guy who keeps on messing up, then he won't need to be the main event anymore. After hyping him up, he finds Gunther, who's apparently eavesdropping on them, listening right behind them, and then he challenges him next week and slaps him in the face. We get another title signing for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. It's a pointless segment, so TLDR, Rhea's owed a title match, but Io comes out as Pierce is talking, says that she doesn't care about contracts or who her opponent would be, she'd take on the both of them. Pierce tries to say something, but Bianca cuts him off and says that she won the number 1 contender spot. She's not about to let Rhea enter her match. Pierce tries to say something, but Rhea comes out to say that she doesn't give a damn about WrestleMania. Me too. She just wants her rematch. They replay the same actions from past weeks where they all just attack each other and all that jazz. And Adam Pearce says that next week Rhea gets a rematch and the winner of that match faces Bianca. Io tries to attack Rhea, but she gets thrown onto her, and then she ends up taking a DDT from Rhea. They all fight until Bianca takes them all out, and she doesn't get a reaction as she stands tall, which makes me sad because Bianca is fucking amazing. We then see Penta, who's backstage talking to Dom. Dom offers him a spot in the Judgment Day and tells him not to react right now, just to think about it. We then get a pre-recording from the Viking Raiders, who say something about being the greatest tag team ever. Then the New Day go into Pierce's office saying that they deserve a title match at Mania. He rejects them, then Bianca runs in and asks who she's going against at Mania. He says that she can call their title match right down the middle next week so she can decide that. She says she doesn't know how to referee, and then he says that she has a week to figure it out. After that, we get Dragon Lee versus El Grande Americano, where Dragon Lee ends up losing because El Grande pulls off his mask and makes him wrap his and then he puts the grapevine on with the ankle lock. We get a recap of SmackDown, and then Punk comes out and says that he's not getting what he wants. Or is he? He explains that no matter how many years that he worked there, he still works with children. He calls Seth the biggest baby of them all, and says that Reigns is taking it personal because the wise man just isn't his wise man alone. He talks about the contract signing on SmackDown and then how he'll see them then. They plug the show coming up next week, and then somebody has an interview asked about if he was concerned about Penta joining the JD. I think it was Finn. Autocorrect threw me off. But anyway, He said that it's not his business. Oh, no, it's somebody else. That it's not his business. The only thing he's congruent of is winning, and then we get the match where they just beat the shit out of one another for 15 minutes, and then the Judgment Day distracts Breaker. Breaker is Beanie, by the way. I didn't say Beanie, but the name I couldn't come up with, that was Braun Breaker. He said he didn't care. Anyway, Breaker gets chop blocked by Dawn to the back of the knee, and that's a disqualification for him. Breaker fights back against the Judgment Day until Finn hits him with a chair. They unload on him with a chair, and Dom hands it to Penta, who grabs it and then throws it at Dom Sabu style. Finn attacks Penta, then takes out Breaker, and then hits a coup de grace on Penta to stand tall. He pulls his boys out to the ramp, and they all pose to end the show. So yeah, there's a reason why this one took, essentially the full month. Yeah, a little bit over a month to review. It wasn't a bad episode, but boy, it was just a filler episode. See, that's the thing about, this Triple H era. You can say a lot of things about how shows go, but ultimately, there's not a bad episode of, WWE-ish programming. It's just, you either have filler episodes, or you have, the best episode of the year. So, this was a filler episode. Not terrible, but not the best.